here are my reflections on our work in week 2. There's several points I want to make, but I want you to know I'm all revved up and ready for the Ravens game. I'll stand up here. You see I've got my Ravens sweatshirt on. And so tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Time, we'll have a gang of people over rooting on our Baltimore Ravens. The first topic has to do with the short essay. You made some good points in these essays, and I enjoyed reading them. One of the things I would point out to you, though, is the issue of a problem statement and how important the problem statement is, that one sentence in your essay. Similarly, that one sentence in your group project, that one sentence in your integrative paper at the end of this course, that one sentence in your dissertation, incredibly important, the problem statement, the place where you say the problem is, and then you, in a succinct set of words, describe what the dilemma is, what is the predicament that you're trying to address. Everything flows from that problem statement. Your definitions of terms, key terms, the analysis that you'll make of the problem and all the factors that are related to it, and then finally your recommendations. If your recommendations don't follow from your precise statement of the problem, then your product will not be logical and it will not be excellent. So that's the learning that I took away from the short essay assignment. The second point I'd like to make is from the Sandra Smith book about trustees, trusteeship. There's a striking quotation in this book, this Sandra Smith book, in terms of whom does a board of trustees work for? Whom does a board of trustees work for? And her assertion, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, is that the board of trustees work for the community. Think about that. That may not be the customary view, that the board of trustees work for the community. And what are the implications of having that answer to the question? Many would say, well, our first responsibility is to the students. I can understand and imagine board members saying that. If there's a decision to discontinue an instructional program, which might be met with some resistance by faculty and students because it's their favorite program, if the first responsibility of the board is to the community, it might be in the best interest of the institution to use those dollars for another purpose. If you've been to a community college board meeting, who is in the audience at those board meetings? In my experience, it's mostly employees, sometimes a few students, but it's mostly employees. So that's something to look for when you visit a board meeting during this course. Take a look around and see who is in attendance at the board meeting. Again, in my experience, you rarely see the community represented, especially in colleges with appointed boards. If you have an elected board, sometimes that will tilt the scales a bit. So that's the second point about the question, whom does a board of trustees work for? An important question as we move into the next section of our literature. And next, about board demographics and policy development. We're moving into a new era of readings here within the course, and board demographics. Again, if you look back to the Sandra Smith book and you see the profile of community college trustees on page 213. Take a look on page 213. What do we see is the average profile of community college trustees. 2/3 are male, 87% are white, and the average age is 57. So you can, as a generalization, say that the average board member is a old white male. That is sort of like me. I was on a community college board for 6 years, appointed by the governor to be on the board of the Anne Arundel Community College in Maryland. I'm sort of in that category myself. But in general, what implications does it have for the directions that boards take when you look at who is on the boards? Boards are certainly not very much like the average community college students when you look at them. Now, when we think about the need for transformational change in community colleges, what does it mean that our board members have the composition that we just described? Boards set direction. Boards set policy. It's a situation, in my opinion, that needs to be changed. The next topic has to do with the group case study. Our group case study, which is coming up very shortly, has to do with the PowerPoint presentation that will be made for that group case study. It's not a text-written, text paragraph by paragraph paper. I would think this might be more fun to do this, and I would assume that all of you would be doing this in interest now, in earnest I mean. Don't wait till the last week to be working on your group case study. And we want to make sure everyone fully participates, that everyone has a full contribution. You will be asked at the end of this to write a statement of what it is that you contributed to your group case project. And so we'll know that in advance. My advice is to read the content in Conference 3 about working with your study group and about this assignment. If you need to contact somebody, if you're in the study group that has 3 persons in it, in the conference topic on this same subject, on the group project, study group, you will see some information there about whom to contact at UMUC about setting up a conference call if you have a 3-way arrangement in your study group. So nail down agreement about who will do what by when, and I'm looking forward to reading some outstanding group study projects. And finally, in my video to you this week, I want to ask a rhetorical question, although not really, about leadership. What is leadership? Are you a leader? When you look into the mirror, do you say, yes, I'm a leader? Well, you have a chance to be a leader in the course. You say, what is that? The suggestion is that this cohort develop a name, a nickname that describes who you are besides we're enrolled at UMUC in the doctoral program. Something that describes you, the 7 of you in this class. Take charge, step forward, propose a name for your cohort. It's not hard, and I think it's something that will illustrate for yourself and for this cohort that you're willing to take this very small chance. It's a low-risk proposition here. But be a leader and take this small initiative to try something. Put it in the conference area and see what your colleagues think, and perhaps your idea will be improved upon. That normally happens in groups when you have brainstorming anyway. So good luck with that. Be a leader. Raise your hand. Take charge. This is what leaders do. So those are my basic points this week. I'm happy to be having this video conversation with you, and I look forward to the next time we do one.